Hello, world of YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Comic Call, the segment where I feed into my addictions to comic books. And this month, we got a beefy boy to add to the collection. A beefy set. Now, as I said in the update, I wasn't going to do a comic haul or a collection update on the vinyl or the comic book front. But I figured, hey, if it's a month of celebration of the stuff I do, this is something I do. It's one of the closest things to like a vlog format show that I have. Let's friggin' do it. Also, I don't have a mount in my car right now, so I can't film my conversation comfortably. So we're going to hold off on my conversation today, which is supposed to go live today, and post it later in the month. Now I'm going to break up the collection from the places that I bought them at. I'm going to break up the presentation this time because I did three different little runs. One at a place locally, one place far away, and one online through my comic shop. So I'm going to do those three. And first up, the first place, the local place I went to, wasn't the comic book place I normally go to, Comic Book University. My hair being a little crazy today, being a little nutso. It was in fact the Half Price Books near my house, because they also have an extensive collection of singlets. And so I bought a slew of them, some of which I wish I remembered that I bought before I bought other comics, but c'est la vie, I guess. Slew of Ghost Riders, a lot of Ghost Riders I bought. First and foremost being the first issue in the Danny Ketch run. I was surprised to see it. I bought it because I like Danny Ketch's Ghost Rider. I talked about it in the Spider-Man Ghost Rider crossover, so I figured I'd pick it up. Be a nice little read at some point. I also got a couple of other things from the Danny Ketch run. I got like a two-piece crossover with the X-Men, and a issue involving a story, part of the story that was even touched on in the Spider-Man crossover with the Hobgoblin, where Danny is contemplating separating himself from the spirit of the Ghost Rider without dying. And that seemed like a really fun read. I thought I had bought this before, but I didn't, and so I figured I'd actually buy it now. While writing the description for this episode, I realized I did buy this comic already. Now I own 2 copies of this too. And then the last 2 comics are comics that you'll see me bring up again because I bought them separately at other points. The second in the MK20 Marvel Knights run that I really wanted to get all of. And I wanted to get this one so much I bought it twice, I guess. And then the other one is part 2 of the Punisher Doctor Strange crossover, Magic Bullets, that again, I bought the second comic of already, and I'll talk about it again later. But it happens, I guess. The next set I bought was from my favorite place out in Virginia. I went to West Virginia recently to see my folks, and while I was there, I went to my favorite local record store, which I'll talk about in my vinyl update, and my favorite comic book store out there. So one of my favorite comic book stores I've ever been to, and one that I like to shop from if I'm ever in the area, 4-Color Fantasies. If you're ever in the Winchester, Virginia area, they have a nice, very diverse collection of comics, and a lot of good stuff at a very good price. This isn't sponsored by them. I just really like their business. I like their shop. They pack so much into such a small space, and the people that I've talked to that work there have always been really nice. I like shopping. I like supporting them. As you can see, I bought a lot of comics while I was there. Starting with 3 comics in the Marvel Knights run, the MK20, including a variant cover of the second issue. So now I have 2 of issue number 2 of this run. So that's fun. I also got another issue in the Martian Manhunter run that I'm trying to get all of, the 12-issue maxi series that I'm trying to get all of, because I like the Martian Manhunter, so I figured I'd get that. I got 2 issues in the Blood and Thunder story that I'm trying to get all of. I got a couple of the Thor comics that they had in that run, which I'm always happy to get more of. I can't wait to get all of this so I can just read it and talk about it with you guys, because it looks like a really good story. I got the second part of a 2-part Spider-Man Punisher crossover that I got. I can now have both parts of that story. And one of the more interesting things that I grabbed that I mentioned in my first episode of ARC, I got the 2000, the annual, that extends, that caps off, that concludes the part of the Assassins game arc where Gambit's powers were a little out of control. I got the issue where Archangel comes and sort of explains what was going on with him. I didn't expect to find this, but I had to get it when I saw it, because it's, to me, it's an integral part of my interests and tastes, and yeah. I'm really excited to have this now, and to have it a part of my collection, and to actually tie that up for myself as well. And then the last thing I got was another Gambit. Gambit versus Mystique. Again, it's a Gambit comic. I like Gambit. I actually really like Mystique, so I'm excited to read this. But it was a Gambit comic I saw in there, and I was like, why the hell not? I was already buying a lot of other stuff. Why not buy a Gambit comic? The last place that I got comics from was mycomicshop.com. Again, not a sponsor, but my favorite online retailer to buy comics from. Again, they have them all at reasonable prices. You can have a want list. You can join auctions. It's a great site to get your comic book needs. MyComicShop.com, 4-color fantasy. Support your local half-price books. Support your businesses. But yeah, I got 3 comics from there. I was going to get more, but I was like, I already had all of this. And I was like, I'm going to just keep it low. I mostly wanted to get one comic in particular for this month, but I figured I'd pick up a couple issues of the Doctor Strange Magic Bullet run. The second issue of which I now have a variant cover of. So now I have 2 comics from this run that I already bought twice, including the X-Men comic. I'm building a collection of duplicates now, which I guess happens when you're a comic collector too. But yeah, I've got a variant cover of this. I have issue 3 as well. I've almost got all of this now, so I can read it, talk about it with you guys. And then the comic that I'm going to be talking about during ARC this month that I'm really excited to do, because I was originally going to do a couple different things. One of them fell through. The other one I couldn't really find anything on the subject that I really wanted to do. But this, when I saw this, I was like, hell yes. It is Doctor Strange versus Dracula. I love Dracula. I love Castlevania. I love vampire stuff. I've written songs about vampires. I like spooky gothic vampires. And seeing my mystic boy fighting Dracula, that just sounds like an adventure well worth my time. And it came out in 1994. I'm going to be talking about it in a couple of weeks on the channel. But I'm excited to have this in the collection and to talk about it with you guys. And hopefully you're excited, because this is well in line with the month in general. But yeah, I'm geeked as fuck to have this and to read it for you guys, because it's just a one-off. At least I think it is. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's a one-off. That was my haul. That was my comic haul. Do any of these stories pique your interest? Maybe for me to talk about in ARC? Let me know in those comments down below. As you can see, I'm collecting a handful of stories so that I can have them all to talk about with you guys. Stuff that piques my interest, heroes that I really enjoy, and stories that I just really enjoy. But let me know what you thought of this particular comic haul in the comments down below. If you did like this video, be sure to give it a like. If you want to see more of my music, gaming, and general notary content, be sure to subscribe. Special thanks to my patrons if you do want to join their ranks to get early access to content, exclusive content, or to help drive the community. It's linked in the description. I have polls, all sorts of stuff going up. And it's just going to be a good month all around. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so very much for watching. I have been Viral Rack. You guys are good days, lives, and situations. And I'll see you another day.